"Daddy, she looks like Mommy." The little alien girl pointed at the bride, shocking the human. Rain whispered softly against the stained glass windows of the old Terran chapel, the sound almost drowned by the low hum of guests arriving. Flowers, real ones imported all the way from Earth, lined the aisle. The air smelled of lilies, ozone, and nerves. Captain Rowan Hale adjusted his collar for the 5th time. His reflection in the mirror looked back, a man who had seen battlefields on 3 planets, but who now trembled before a wedding altar. Today was supposed to be the start of peace, a merging of 2 worlds, literally. His bride-to-be, Lyra Vess, was not human. She was from Lyssaran 9, a world once at war with Earth. Half her people bore silvery markings down their temples, bioluminescent veins that pulsed faintly under their skin. Lyra's glow was faint now, dimmed out of respect for human customs, but Rowan still found it mesmerizing. She was the bridge between species, the proof that love could survive beyond blood and borders. "Captain Hale," a soft voice called. He turned to see Lieutenant Marin, his best man and oldest friend, grinning. "You look like you're about to face another orbital strike." Rowan forced a laugh. "Feels like it." "Relax," Marin said, clapping his shoulder. "You've survived worse than marriage." "Probably." But the jest didn't land. Rowan's heart was too heavy for jokes. For even as he prepared to marry, part of him still mourned. 5 years ago he'd lost his wife Ilara, in the Battle of Varine's moon. She'd been a medical officer, killed when a Lyssaran cruiser disintegrated their supply ship. He'd never even found her body. Until Lyra. She'd appeared 2 years after the war's end, a Lyssaran diplomat who'd volunteered for the fragile peace exchange. She had Ilara's eyes, the same gray-green hue that changed under the light. Her laughter carried the same lilting tone. Even the way she wrinkled her nose when she thought hard was identical. He'd fallen in love again, though guilt shadowed every step. The ceremony began. The music, soft, ethereal chords of a Lyssaran flute, floated through the hall. Lyra entered, her gown woven from hybrid silk that shimmered between white and silver, like moonlight captured in cloth. The crowd, humans and Lyssarans alike, rose in quiet awe. Rowan's breath caught. When she reached him, he whispered, "You look unreal." She smiled, voice trembling with warmth. "So do you, Captain." The priest, a neutral officiant from the Galactic Concord, raised his hands. "Today we witness the union of 2 souls, 2 species, in the hope of one peace." As he spoke, Rowan noticed movement near the back. A small figure, a child, climbed onto a bench for a better view. She was Lyssaran, maybe 6 or 7 years old. Her hair was silvery white, skin faintly luminescent, eyes bright with curiosity. And then she gasped. The sound was clear enough to ripple through the silence. Heads turned. Rowan's heart stilled when the little girl pointed toward the altar. "Daddy," she said, her voice trembling, confused. "She looks like Mommy." The entire room froze. Rowan blinked, his mind blank. What did she? The child's guardian, a young Lyssaran attendant, flushed blue with embarrassment. "Forgive her, sir. She's mistaken." But the girl shook her head fiercely. Tears welled in her bright eyes. "No. She is Mommy. She smells like Mommy. Her eyes, her voice, Daddy, it's her." Lyra's glow flickered, her breath hitching audibly. The priest hesitated. "Captain Hale, do you know this child?" Rowan stepped down the altar steps slowly, as if moving through fog. The little girl clutched a stuffed toy in one trembling hand. Her eyes were the same gray-green as his late wife's. "What's your name?" he asked gently. "Aaron," she whispered. Mommy used to sing to me before the big light came. Then she went away. Rowan's pulse roared in his ears. Before the big light, he murmured. That was what Lyssarans called the destruction of the Vereen supply line. Lyra was pale now. Her bioluminescent veins dimmed to near invisibility. I think, she said quietly, we should talk privately. They moved to the quiet garden behind the chapel, leaving murmurs in their wake. Rain had softened to mist. Rowan faced Lyra, his mind reeling. Explain, he said, voice raw. Lyra looked away, her expression pained. I didn't mean for this to come out like this. Not here. Then where? He snapped. At the reception. She winced. Rowan, please. Listen. She took a slow breath, and her glow brightened faintly again. 5 years ago, I was part of a Lyssaran rescue team sent to recover survivors from the wreckage near Vereen's moon. We found a human woman, barely alive, burned, unrecognizable. But her mind, her memories, they were disintegrating. Lyssaran science. We tried to save her. Rowan felt his legs weaken. You mean, we rebuilt her, Lyra whispered. Cell by cell, neural by neural. But the process, it rewrote me too. My body was the host, the only one compatible. When I woke up, I wasn't just Lyra anymore. I had her memories, her voice, her love for you. Rowan staggered back, breath shuddering. You're saying? I'm saying I was Elara, she said softly, tears glimmering in her alien eyes. And I am Lyra. Both. Either. The technology merged what was left of her consciousness with mine. The world tilted. The little girl, Erin, peeked through the doorway, clutching her toy. Mommy! Lyra knelt, arms trembling as she opened them. Erin rushed forward, burying her face in her dress. I remember her, Lyra whispered through tears. I remember holding her before the evacuation. She was so small. Rowan dropped to his knees beside them, eyes burning. He wanted to deny it, to call it impossible. But her touch, her scent, the way she whispered his name. They had always been too familiar. I lost you once, he said hoarsely. And now, I don't even know if I've found you again. Lyra met his gaze. Then let's start over. Not as what we were, but as what we are. Rowan looked at the child between them. His daughter, her daughter, the bridge between two worlds. Slowly he nodded. The bells from the chapel began to ring again. Rain shimmered on their joined hands, catching the faint glow of Lyssaran light. And for the first time, peace didn't seem like a treaty or a dream. It was standing right there in the garden, crying, breathing, holding on to hope. Rowan stood in the garden, the sound of rain mingling with the slow rhythm of his heartbeat. Lyra knelt on the wet grass, holding Erin close, her glow pulsing softly like a heartbeat returned from the dead. The world felt distant, just the three of them, surrounded by the smell of earth and rain and the quiet ache of truth. He sank down beside them, his hands trembling. All these years, he whispered, I thought I'd buried you among the stars. Lyra looked up, her eyes shimmering. You did. But part of me refused to stay there. She brushed Erin's silver hair gently. For her. For you. Erin peeked between them, confusion flickering into hope. So, you're really Mommy. Lyra smiled through her tears. In all the ways that matter, little star, yes. The child wrapped her tiny arms around her mother's neck, and Rowan felt something inside him finally give way. A wound that had never fully closed, now healing with every heartbeat. He reached out, his hand trembling as it touched Lyra's cheek. Maybe it doesn't matter what science or memory calls you. We're here. And that's enough. Lyra leaned into his touch. Then let's build new memories. Not as ghosts of what we were, but as